Spent a lot of time on the couch this week watching the combine. I love it, man. And it was really fun to see Danny Stutsman and Billy Bowman and Ethan Downs get out there and compete, Ted. And the Sooners may have only sent three, but those three guys went and showed out, man.
Well, I guess. And they all did great. Stutzman ran fantastic. Ethan Downs showed up big and ran fast. Like Bowman checked the boxes that you figured that he would. All in all, those I thought those three guys all had great performances.
Let's run through them individually real quick. Stutzman measured at 6'3" and a fourth, 233 pounds, probably dropped a little weight to run. If I had to guess, wanted to be a little lighter so that he ran 4.52.
Whew.
That is
Smoking.
moving. That was
I
the third fastest for a linebacker.
I um I thought he was a little taller than that. Just standing next to him, being around him, I was kind of surprised by that. But the 233, I talked to him after the combine, just kind of through text and stuff, and he said that he put on muscle and like trimmed up just by like eating super clean and everything. Didn't really have a goal of gaining or losing weight. That's just kind of where he ended up. And just watching him, like just how he looked on television, how he moved, I thought that's like the best I've ever seen him just look physically. And he's got plenty of frame. If he goes somewhere and they need him to gain weight, he can easily gain weight. But I thought just visually he looked fantastic.
Yeah, he was moving really well. A few slips in the position drills, but
Mhm.
what's going on with that turf? It seems like a bunch of dudes are slipping.
Yeah, and you get into this, you go run a 40 and you're on a watch, and you do three, you're on a watch the whole time, and then you go do position drills, and everyone wants to move so fast that they kind of lose their footing and stuff whenever it's just really about being smooth and looking athletic. So I think that happens a little bit, but yeah, I think, and everyone's wearing some different cleats maybe than they typically do, doing football drills. Everyone's in some speed stuff. So I don't know, but man, he looked great. He made some money.
I He certainly didn't lose any. And what the 34-inch vert that was 10th among the linebackers. That hey, check the box, let's move on. But I think that out of all the backers, that number for him, I think it got a lot of people's attention.
Yeah,
I mean, we were
absolutely.
wondering over under 4.6, and it I mean, he looked extremely relaxed and looked fast, man. I mean,
Really
it's
fast.
exactly how you want a guy look running a 40.
Yeah, his start was just smooth, efficient. Didn't look like he was, straining way too much. It was about as clean as you could run it. I mean, he was I don't know, fantastic. And looking at some of like the other guys, like I was watching Jahad Campbell, the Alabama guy that's got, a bunch of real high grades. He was smaller than I thought. I think he was too low 230s as well. And Stutzman ran faster. At least from the times that I saw, I didn't see his final numbers, but I mean, he compares really well with the guys he needs to compare well with.
Campbell ran the exact same 40 as Stutzman, 4.52.
Okay.
He measured in at 6'3", 235, 32 and a half inch arms. I believe Stutzman was 32 and a fourth inch. So you talk about exactly the same measurables in 40 time as a guy that everyone believes is going in the first round.
Right. Yep. And he's like, it's not like he just went and measured well. Like every now and then you'll see guys that you never heard much about, and then all of a sudden they go have a great combine and they become a talking point. Like Stutzman's got a bunch of great film to go with it too. So he's not gonna lack in that department at all. He said the interview process went good, got along well with several different teams. So I think he's in a real good spot.
Did you see the clip that the NFL X account put out of him just answering questions and being I don't I don't know how to describe it other than just being Danny.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it's you'll need to go check it out. The very end, he eats a marshmallow and he's like, "Oh my gosh, these are so good. I haven't had a marshmallow in so long." It's just it's so goofy. It's so on brand. You'll love it.
That's perfect.
Anything else about Stutzman? It seems like a really successful trip to Indy for him.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of pressure off of him for pro day. A lot of guys don't go run the times that they had expected and, want to go out and redo pro day and go through everything again. I don't know that you'll see him do a whole lot. He may do bench, but outside of that, he may not be doing any of the time stuff at pro day.
Yeah, didn't do bench, didn't do three cone, didn't do broad, but when you run 4.52 at 233 pounds, no one cares.
Don't really need to do much else.
No one really cares. Billy Bowman, not a tall guy. We knew that. He measured in at 5'9" and 7/8. So 192 pounds, 28 and a half inch arms, but 4.42
There you go.
and he looked so smooth and so relaxed. I saw several like NFL draft guys calling him ball hawking Billy Bowman, which I absolutely love. But he was out of all the safeties, he was the fourth fastest safety at the NFL Combine. That'll do.
Yep. That's really good. Knew that he would test well in the physical stuff just because he's really explosive athlete, fast, very coordinated, smooth in the open field. So none of those are really surprising. But that 40, we've said it before, and we'll probably say it a million times in the future. If you are lacking in some category, you've got to be able to make up for it. And great vert, great 40 makes up for not being super tall with great arm length and all of that stuff. So great job by him.
His vert was 35 and a half inches. That was ninth for all safeties. He had a 10-foot 3-inch broad. And just so you know, Jerry Schmidt's saying is 10 to get in.
Then to
Got to be
get
in the
in.
10-foot club if you're an elite guy. And that 10-3 broad had him eighth out of all the safeties. He had 17 reps on bench. He told us he was going to do well on bench. He did. That was fourth among the safeties. So when you look at all the numbers, it's exactly what we said going into it. You're not a big guy. You better be an athlete. You better be explosive. You better have speed.
Yep.
And Billy Bowman went to Indy and checked all of those boxes. I mean,
Yep.
every single one of them.
And I still believe that he's one of the guys that he's not going to be like super high on a bunch of people's draft board, as in like first round, second round type of stuff. But with that performance, he he has locked himself into a really good spot. I wouldn't be shocked if he's third round, and because his film and just the intangibles that he brings are really second to none.
I still am convinced that a team is going to watch the film, look at the testing numbers, and go, this guy is our starting nickel.
What are we doing?
What are we even talking about? This guy.
Don't
And
overthink it.
the NFL, it's a different world for defensive backs that play close to the core because of the different formation rules. Like, you have to fit the run a lot more, and they will challenge you. Like, if you are not a big guy like Billy Bowman and they play him at nickel, you know it, Ted, they're going to get him into the run fit and see what's what. But I think he's more than comfortable with that. And I think he'd be fantastic at it. And if you view a guy as maybe a borderline starter as a safety, or, maybe he comes in your dime package, or, hey, this guy is our starting nickel day one, I I could see a team falling in love with him and maybe taking a swing late second, early third if they view him that way.
I agree. And the thing about nickel in the NFL is most of those guys are corners. And corners in the NFL, unbelievable athletes, some of the best athletes in the world, but they don't want to tackle and they don't want to fit the run. Billy Bowman is like he's like the perfect fit of a guy that loves contact, plays incredibly aggressive, but is also can do all the things of a corner. And we used him obviously in a bunch of different places, but I think he's the perfect nickel in the NFL. There'll be some getting used to it, because he's spent most of his time at safety. It's a different view of the game, but I think he could be awesome at it.
He also, and I watched all the position drills for that all the OU guys did that they showed on NFL Network. He looked so smooth, so in control. It just everything was great for him, and I saw him on all kinds of biggest winners of the day lists that were
Yeah.
out there. Like essentially every single one of them after the DBs went, Billy Bowman was mentioned in some form or fashion.
And that's after the same basic thing happened at the Senior Bowl, right? I mean, he was on
Correct.
those lists at the Senior Bowl too. Like everyone came away saying, "Dang, this kid can do everything." So he's checking all the right boxes.
The combine, we knew it was going to be big for Ethan Downs, and he absolutely killed it.
Killed it.
I he measured at 6'3" and 6'8", so 6'3" and 3/4, 269 pounds, which I love seeing. Now he's got short arms. I feel like we already knew that. Only a 31-inch arm. Some teams are going to look at that and go, not great, but 469 40 10.
Awesome.
I mean, that's the 10th best 40 of all edge guys at the combine. And remember, there are a lot of mutants at the NFL combine. So he's top 10 in the 40, but his 10-yard split was the sixth best of all the edge guys. So he got out of there, man. It was his 10 time, I think it was 162. I mean, that was I'm just gonna be real. I didn't know Ethan Downs had it like that, baby.
I
That was
know.
awesome.
It's crazy. And the other thing about the edge guys, being the 10th fastest 40, there's a wide range of what edge guys are.
Right.
And he's almost 200, 170 pounds. It wouldn't shock me if we looked at some of those edge guys and they were, 20 pounds or so lighter than him. So just awesome. Awesome was, um, I had to do a double take whenever I saw his first one. What was the first one, like 4.7 flat or something like that?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, okay. And then he goes out and gets into the 4.6s. Dude, that's because what did we say? If he gets it, if he could tick into the 4.7s, job well done. Well, that ticking into the 4.6s is a totally different world.
We apologize, Ethan. We were not familiar with your game.
He looked good, man. That was
Ted,
that
you're
was
you're
fantastic.
exactly right with the fastest edge guys. James Pierce, who we are familiar
He
with,
looked fast. I saw his.
he was he fast, but he ran 4.47 at 245 pounds.
Yeah.
Next fastest was Colin Oliver from Oklahoma State. We all remember him. He ran in the 4.4s, or excuse me, he was 4.56 at 240 pounds.
Just giving
Fadil
up 30
Diggs from
pounds to
Syracuse,
yeah.
edge guy. He was the next fastest at 4.57, 257 pounds, man. So you're exactly right. A lot of these guys that ran a lot faster than Ethan are much lighter than him.
They're upfitted linebackers is what they are. They're guys that have put on some extra weight to go play the edge spot. In years past, probably would have been playing inside backer or something. But whatever it is, it's uh, excellent performance by Ethan Downs. It was
Not
strong as hell too, just like we figured.
oh, I was shocked. They were like, Ethan Downs has done more bench press reps than any other person in his position. And I was like, that's the least surprising thing I've ever heard.
Right.
But he had an awesome combine. And you and I, we've spent a lot of time around Ethan now over the last 4 years. You know, the interview process went well for him. I mean, he's a deep thinking guy. He's played a lot of ball. Like, he's a guy you want in your locker room. But is it weird that my reaction as I watched him just absolutely destroy the combine, is it weird that my reaction was, why wasn't this guy more productive then? I
Uh,
was elated
yeah.
for him, but if he's that type of athlete, right? And we know the physicality he plays with,
Mhm.
it's like he had 3 sacks in 2024. Those measurables, he should be a more productive player in my mind. Like he's clearly an athletic freak.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, okay, what didn't marry up there? Was it that the defense moves too much along the line of scrimmage and he couldn't just go play? I don't know. I found myself wondering, like, man, if he's that type of athlete, then it feels like there was some untapped production there.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's a number one, it's a development piece. Um, we have to continue to see more production out of just that position group at Oklahoma, period. And get some of the younger guys up and caught up to pace a little bit quicker. So that may be part of it. With Ethan, the 2023 Texas game, he was an animal, right? And we talked about it after the game, like whatever Ethan Downs did in pregame, that needs to be what he does every game because it was like the only time we ever saw him play like angry and like super aggressive and using all of that explosiveness. Just I think he just needs to find a way to tap into that a little bit more.
I'm kind of scared if you tell that guy to just play unhinged. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
But just a fantastic performance by all three of these guys.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before it. If OU football wants to be where we all want it to be, they got to send more guys. That number every year needs to be somewhere between like 6 and 10. But it was awfully fun, and I'm proud as hell as those three guys with the way that they went and showed out and represented themselves and the program. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. For just sending three guys, they made a big impact and end up getting a lot of attention. So yeah, that was awesome. Got to send more volume there, and I think as our roster gets better and we just continue to build, hopefully that's going to be the case. But proud of those guys. Awesome. I think everyone that went, all three guys improved, possibly even dramatically improved where some of their draft position was being talked about.
They all three also just looked great physically.
Yeah,
I mean,
agreed.
what they've been putting in the work, like the training that I think it's clear that they took it very, very seriously. OU Pro Day will be March 11th. So right around the corner. Now those guys will, probably, I would assume those guys will just do their position drills and just get in front of all of the decision makers that'll be there. But that'll be an opportunity for the all of the other guys that didn't get the combine invite to show what they can do, man. So that should be a fun day as well.
Yep. No, it will be. That'll be cool. And yeah, I'm curious to see what some of these guys do. I don't think any of them are going to be running 40s. Like if you go get the time that you want at the combine, you can hang your speed cleats up for life. Done. Never have to do it again.
Last 40 of your life, boys. Congratulations. All right, let's get to call your shot. We ask you guys the most important thing that happened this week for Oklahoma football. And this one comes from Zach at Zakari55. He says the most important thing that happened to OU this weekend is that all of our guys at the combine showed up and showed out. Shows future interested players that even in a down year, OU can still produce quality NFL players.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
I like the optimism there, Zach. Nice.
I like the optimism. If we had to send, like, if you wanted to send three guys to go represent Oklahoma somewhere, those would probably be the three guys that you send, right?
No doubt.
And they went and represented, and hopefully this is the tip of the spear, and we're going to start seeing more guys, and the numbers are going to start to stand out like that. I mean, I think
Hold
that
on. Tip of the spear or tip of the iceberg?
tip of the iceberg.
Isn't
I don't
tip of
know.
the spear like
Tip of the spear's like the best of the best.
right, right.
Mhm.
How does that apply to what's behind? I'm asking sincerely here. How
Well,
does that apply to what's behind the tip?
I guess I was just saying that, like, this. Hopefully, these are the guys that are starting the new
Opening the
push,
floodgates.
opening the floodgates.
How many sayings can we work into this? Dude, I'm Googling it. Tip of the spear means the leading edge or forefront of a group or movement. Okay, yeah, you nailed it. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
there you go.
I I
The definition said it better than I did.
Yeah, what you said was exactly right. This hopefully this starts the movement of tons of OU players going to the NFL combine.
Yep.